What it do, baby? It's your boy Tyrik Wynn. Y'all are tuning in to another episode of NJP, Navigating Journalism Podcast. Man, we back with another episode, baby, man. So listen, these past couple of episodes, y'all seen me. I was at the NABJ conference. We was broadcasting, doing a lot of episodes from the National Association of Black Journalists Conference, which this shirt is actually courtesy of NABJ. Shout out to NABJ coming out with the Black Journalists Matter shirt. I love this shirt. It's awesome. Then, of course, it got y'all can't see, but it got the NABJ logo right here at the neck. And man, yeah, so that was an amazing conference. It was awesome. And I want to talk a little bit about my conference experience, and then we'll get into the episode deep. But man, the NABJ conference was awesome. It was fantastic. I was at the West End, and it was just like, it's like a family reunion when you go to NABJ and you see all of your fellow black journalists all in one place in one city, man. And we just have a great time, man, just fellowshipping, learning, going to the workshops and stuff. And then, of course, going to the after parties, the receptions and stuff in the evening time. It's just awesome. And then, of course, once we're not doing NABJ, we're out in the city doing other stuff and just having an amazing time. And then Chicago, they had their kickoff party, and that was pretty cool, too. And it was just an amazing experience, and I was able to have, the great part about it was I was so actually real glad that it was in Birmingham, because my parents could actually come over, drive 2.5 hours to, bring the equipment and set up the podcast and stuff like that. Got to tell y'all one thing though. One major event happened, and I didn't think I was going to be able to film my podcast. So when we was at the convention, my parents had got to the convention, right? They had all the equipment, right? I was so proud, right? They had all the equipment, everything except the main part, right? It's 2 main parts you need for the podcast. Well, it's a lot of main parts. But one of the main things, right, if you don't have this, your stuff is going to be shaky. They ain't had a tripods, So they didn't have a tripods. They came to NABJ, they drove 2.5 hours without the tripods in the trunk. I was like, what? Oh, you're blaming it on me? What did I do? I'm talking to Dad. He's producing. What did I do?
I didn't. You sent me a checklist.
I sent you a checklist?
And it wasn't on there.
Okay, well, that's self-explanatory. Did I put the cameras on there? No.
Yes.
I put the cameras on the checklist. Pull up the checklist.
All right.
pull up the checklist. Nah, because we're going to verify this right now, right here, today. Because there's just certain things, is like, did I need to put that on the list? Because, I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. You're not going to stand there with the show. You're not going to stand there holding the camera for 20 to 30 minutes filming somebody. You're not going to do that. So I would, just automatically assume that you wouldn't have a tripods, right? It just makes sense. So I think I sent it in our family group chat with the 3 of us. So you just have to scroll up. Or you can search it and just put checklist or camera or, something like mics and stuff, because I had mics on the checklist. But yeah, that was crazy. So that did put me behind. And it was funny, right? Because they told me they was going to get there about 10 o'clock to start filming. I told them to get there about 10 o'clock, right? I didn't schedule my first NJP interview until 12 p.m. And I interviewed Amir. It was my first one. I didn't schedule my first NJP interview until 12 p.m. Some told me they was going, something in my mind told me just to schedule it until 12 p.m., right? Oh, you got a checklist? Okay, let me see the checklist, right? All right, let's see. Okay, so this is the checklist. I sent this to them on August 3rd. I said podcast equipment for tomorrow. I said 2 director's chairs, 2 pod mics, 2 pod stands, 3 XLR cables, 2 cameras, whiteboard markers, and clapper. And I said, here's y'all's checklist for tomorrow. Okay, I put the cameras on there, right? But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think my point,
Your point you lost,
my point is still valid.
You didn't have a tripod.
My point is still valid. Do you really think that you're going to stand there, you and Mom going to stand there for 20 to 30 minutes holding the cameras in your hand? We got several interviews to do. I'm just saying. I just thought that was...
Hey, CEOs take ownership.
I'm just saying, I just thought that was just self-explanatory. I thought it was self-explanatory to me, because, I'm just saying, how are you going to film? And, you can film, but, it's going to be shaky and your arm's going to get tired. So I just automatically assumed that y'all would have the tripods. But needless to say, They forgot the tripod. Shout out to them for forgetting the tripods. But so the great thing was that there was a Walmart within I think it was like a 10-mile radius or whatever. So they was able to go to Walmart and stuff. And they was able to go to Walmart, get some other tripods. We got like some little cheap ones or whatever, just for the time's sake and stuff. So from now on, what we're doing is we're leaving those tripods in the trunk at all times. That way we have those in the trunk at all times, just in case we have an event where somebody forgets a tripod or something, forgets a tripod or so. So we'll have all grounds covered. But yeah, so nobody knew about that, right? And I was literally panicking, like up until when they got there to dad going to get the tripods, because I didn't think he was going to make it back in time. But let me tell you something, it all worked out. And actually, I didn't have a tripod, but let me tell you what I did, right? So a couple years back in 2020, I did student projects, right? So my dumb self, because this was dumb of me, right? I already knew what the answer was going to be. I don't even know why I went over there, but I went over to student projects, right? And I went over to student projects, and I was literally begging. I was like, can I please borrow a tripod? And she was like, boy, you know the answer to that. And so I just left out of there. I was all sad and stuff. And I was like, yo, what am I going to do? We don't have any tripods to film. I was like, I done told everybody. I done already got everybody pumped up in this podcast, filming and stuff like that. And I don't have any tripods, And so, yeah, that was crazy. That was wild, yo. But the great thing is we was able to go to Walmart and get the tripods and stuff. We was able to do the filming and all that stuff. So we did all the filming on Friday morning, Friday afternoon and all that stuff. Had some amazing guests on there. Shout out to everybody that took time away from the conference to come on NJP and talk, man. It was fantastic. And those are some amazing, outstanding interviews that my guests gave and stuff, and they were very informative, and I hope you guys got a lot out of them and learned a little something. So, and what I want to know, those of y'all who was at the conference, comment down below, what was your favorite NABJ experience during that week at NABJ? For me personally, I would have to say definitely that NABJ, the Sports Jam Task Force party, yo, that thing, man, we were lit, boy. That thing was awesome, man. We had an amazing time, yo. It was crazy. It was awesome, yo. So, yeah, man, NABJ, always do it up. Love going to the conferences. That was my third conference, second in-person conference. And, hey, I'm ready for Chicago next year, man. So, hey, we're going to be in the Shoptown, man. Only thing is, haven't figured out how I'm going to film my podcast at that one. That's going to be a lot of equipment on the plane and all that stuff, and it is a long drive from ATL to Chicago, but we'll figure it out. We'll see, or may just have to hire a video production company up there in Chi-Town that'll be able to film my podcast for me and come to the site of NABJ. So, but yeah, man, that's my experience with NABJ. Now we're gonna get into this episode of NJP. So this is what we're talking about today. We are talking about creating your own opportunities, especially when you have to, right? In this industry, there is where a lot of people are always trying to find that job, right? Find the job, find the internship. Maybe your school, maybe if you're in college, beginning journalists, maybe your school doesn't have a broadcast news station, stuff like that, or doesn't have print outlet or, radio station and stuff. This is what you got to do. You have to literally create your own opportunity. I cannot stress this enough. This is very important because when it comes to this stuff, right, you cannot always expect somebody just to hand you something, or you can't always expect a position to be available that you like, or you can't always expect an opportunity to be right there. Sometimes you have to go out and create your own. I want to give you guys a little example, tell you guys a little story. So when I was in college, a lot of you may not know this, but I could not get an internship at no television station, no broadcast news station here in Atlanta. WSB told me no. Fox 5 Atlanta told me no. CBS 40, Atlanta News First now, but CBS 46 at the time told me no. And actually at CBS 46, I applied for that internship twice, and I knew almost all of the anchors and reporters up there who put in a good word for me, and They still told me no. And it was funny because at the Super Bowl experience, I actually met the girl who actually got my job that I was going for. That was a whole nother story. And that was crazy. And 11 Alive also told me no to an internship. So I got denied to all 4 news stations, didn't get my internship, right? But I knew, I was like, I have to have a reel ready. I have to get something together. And so what I did was I created, that's when I created Wynn Productions and stuff. I created a whole bunch of stuff. I created Wynn Productions, started creating Wynn Productions. Then I also created something called TW News. And TW News is something I think I started that back in 2017, I think. And that was actually a year before I graduated high school. But I created TW News, and when I did TW News, it was just me. It was me and Dad, right? And Dad and I, what we did was we just went around, just me doing stand-ups on various scenes. I would do sports stand-ups at Mercedes-Benz. No, we still had the Georgia Dome at the time. So, I did stand-ups at the Georgia Dome. I did stand-ups in the middle of the street. There were some, I'm in Clayton County, right? So there's always something going on in Clayco, right? But I live in the good part. Clayco, but shout out to Clayco. But I was all over the county doing stand-ups and stuff like that. Had no idea what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was trying. And in the midst of me trying, I actually ended up meeting a lot of journalists on the scenes and stuff at a lot of the scenes, and I was able to I was able to sit in some of their news vans and just shadow them and stuff. And so various opportunities happen like that and all that good stuff. And so I also remember there was, this is a funny story. This is a couple of years ago, and story within a story, right? Shout out to George Franco from Fox 5, who was formerly at Fox 5. Now he freelances at Fox 5 Atlanta. But I was at a fire, and this was an apartment fire. Like I said, this is in Clayton County, right? And I was out there, and I just so happened to run into George Franco, who was at Fox 5 Atlanta at the time. And so when I met him, he was awesome, and he was so amazed that we were out there and stuff, and he said, "Wow, you guys are going to put me out of business. Y'all out here doing this, and you are here at the story and doing this fire." And he was so amazed, and that was just such an awesome opportunity to meet him. And I mean, we've been talking ever since, and he's been a great mentor and stuff, and he's just absolutely awesome. So that was one of those stories and stuff. So, but fast forward, right? So get to college and stuff. I joined Panther Report News, a school news station there. I was anchored there and stuff. So I couldn't get an internship, but I had Panther Report News was a very valuable resource. And if you take a look at my reel that I made last year, Panther Report, you see a lot of Panther Report News in there. Also, you'll see my talk show, Tyrik on the Move, in there as well, because that was a TV show that I created for myself, where I would go out, do entertainment stories, and I would go out on red carpets, interview people, do celebrity interviews and stuff. And you see a lot of that stuff in my reel and stuff, because there was, I didn't have the internships and stuff, so I really couldn't create a reel without going to a news station and doing all this stuff and going on scenes with reporters and all that stuff. So that's why I had to make my own show, had to join the school news station and stuff, which I obviously advise, even if you do have an internship, of course, still join your school stations and news stations and all that stuff. And then, I mean, it's just like news stations, radio stations, print newspapers, magazines, all that good stuff. Join it. Is really going to help you. Those of you guys who are beginning journalists out there who are listening right now. And then, but yeah, it's all about creating your own opportunity, like I said. So like I said, I created my own production company, created my own television news, and then also created my own talk show, right? So you got Wynn Productions LLC, created TW News, my news station, and then also created Tyrik on the Move, which was my talk show at the time. And I was just doing this stuff. I was literally creating content. I said, this is going to pay off one day. And little did I know, that's exactly what happened. It paid off. The celebrity interviews I was able to get, I was able to put those in my reel because I did those on Tyrik on the Move and stuff, and doing all this red carpets and stuff, like I said, all that stuff was able to go on my reel. And then next thing you know, I mean, here I am now. So it just goes to show you sometimes you just have to create your own opportunities. You're not always going to get a yes. You can be so amazing. You can be a living legend in this industry. You're not always going to get a yes. And really, I mean, that's just how it is, because there have been journalists to tell me that they've never seen a student, because I was a student at the time, they've never seen a student like me. They've never seen a student or a young person coming into this industry with the drive that I have. And the fact that people were saying that, and I still wasn't able to get the internship or the certain positions that I wanted, it was crazy. So I'm like, maybe it is God's destiny or the Lord's destiny that I create my own opportunities. And that's exactly what I was able to do. And, I thank God for that I had the resources and I had the plan and the dream to be able to go off and do this. And here we are today, sitting in the studio. I'm literally, like I always say this, I'm sitting in my dream. You guys are watching the dream. Like right now, I'm actually in the Tyrik Wynn podcast studio that was named after me, the owner and CEO of Wynn Productions. So yeah, I mean, and that's just how it is. And a lot of people may be trying to think, okay, create my own opportunities. Well, what exactly can I do? Literally, there are so many ways to create your own opportunities and create content and stuff. You can start your own show. You can you can start your own news. This is for broadcast stuff too. You can do your own podcast like I'm doing. Like I'm doing a podcast, right? Like podcasts are money generating businesses. Podcasts are not just podcasts. Podcasts are money generating businesses. I'm telling you this. You got to treat your podcast like your business, okay? And this is stuff that I learned at the podcast summit too. So that's why I'm giving you guys this information. And this information came from Dave and Donnie, right? Some of the best podcasters in the game. So there's also, if you're in print, you can create your own newspaper, right? You don't need to go to somebody else's newspaper to write articles. You can do your own newspaper, your own online newspaper, or you can get it printed out too, whatever the case may be. Just find a print company that can do it for you. And then there's that. You can also create your own radio show. You can also create your own radio show as well. If radio is your passion, you can create your own radio show. Like you can go to, I think there's this website, it's called, I don't know if it's still active and stuff. I haven't really heard people talk about it like that. But I know there's this website that I heard a lot of people used to use called Blog Talk Radio. You can go on to Blog Talk Radio. You can literally have your own radio show, yo. Or you can go to some of these other smaller radio companies where you can, I think you have to pay, but you can go to some of these other radio companies and you can pay for a spot, pay for, maybe 1 or 2 hours on their station, and you can have your own radio show then, and then create, get advertising and sponsors, bring in that revenue. That's how you making that money, and then of course, all the other opportunities, like I mentioned before, advertising and sponsors is a great way to make money and stuff like that. But this is what it's all about. And then, of course, just continue to post this stuff online and stuff, and also on YouTube, because I did a live video earlier in the week, and I was telling everybody how much money you can make on YouTube. It is crazy. Like all of your content, all of your video content, put that stuff on YouTube, man, because let me tell you, I was looking at some statistics on YouTube, right? Looking at some of the most famous YouTubers who have made all this money on YouTube. Literally, YouTube can retire you. It is crazy. YouTube can retire you. I was online looking at these statistics, and I was so amazed, yo. It was crazy. I was looking at like Logan Paul or Jake. It was either Logan or Jake Paul, one of them. But their podcast literally made, I think it was like 54 million or 40 million or something like that. Anyways, it was million. They done made millions of dollars just on YouTube alone. That is crazy. Like, if y'all don't get out here and make your own content, like, what are you waiting on? Like, come on now, make this content, yo, and get on YouTube. I cannot stress that enough. Get on YouTube. And I'm telling you, tap in with these YouTube shorts, yo. Let me tell y'all what I did. I was out at the Trump surrender. that was here in Atlanta when he was indicted. He turned himself in here in Atlanta, right? And I did a lot of interviews with a couple of Trump supporters for the news and stuff like that. And when I did that, I took a lot of that footage, turned it into 1-minute videos, posted that as YouTube Shorts. Yo, when I tell you, that thing got instantly viral. It was crazy. Like literally within the first 15 minutes, it already had 1,000 views. What? 1,000 views within 15 minutes? That's crazy. And now both like some of the videos that I uploaded up to YouTube Shorts got over 8,000 views. That is crazy. So I got people liking my stuff because my YouTube is monetized. So these videos are just constantly bringing in revenue into my YouTube channel, which I love. I mean, I love revenue, right? And literally all I had to do was just sit there. It took me less than 3 minutes to just edit a quick 1-minute reel, post it up to YouTube Shorts. Bam, revenue was flowing. People are watching, and then people are commenting. And let me tell you something else. Let this be advice to you. Controversy gets views. I'm going to say that one more time. Controversy gets views. Obviously, Donald Trump, very controversial person, very controversial topic, right? You got a lot of people that like him. You got a whole lot of people that don't like him, right? So anything within that's controversy. By me posting that, very controversy, I got people on both sides talking about, oh, the Trump supporters are awesome. Yes, go Trump. And then you got the other side that's saying, no. Why are these people out here supporting Trump? And it was actually, and I think it got a lot more views because it was actually a black person who I interviewed that was supporting Trump and stuff. And so I did that interview, uploaded that, and I mean, it got thousands and thousands of views, man. So, I mean, it's crazy. So listen, create your own content, tap in with YouTube, yo, I'm telling you. Now, of course, tap in with the other places like, of course, everybody, if you're a journalist, you definitely should have social media. You got to have a social media presence and all that stuff. But maybe if you're not even a journalist and stuff, but I mean, you can still create content. You don't have to be a journalist to create content. Anybody can create content. Anybody can have a podcast. Anybody can have a show, like whatever. Just create your own content. Create your own opportunities, man, because nobody's just going to give it to you. Like you literally have to get out here and work for it. You can't rely on somebody else to give you a handout, give you a yes. It's not always going to happen like that. You got to get out here and go get it your dang self. And let that just be some advice to you, man. And so that's my advice. Get out here, create your own content, create your own opportunities. It is very, very important, very, very vital. I can't stress it enough, man, because I mean, the way our industry is, I mean, one thing about our industry, I can tell you, you can have a contract, but nothing in our industry is secure. You can be at the top Monday, fired and at the bottom on Tuesday. It's crazy the way our industry works, man. Like I've literally seen it on national television. You see these people that you watch every day constantly. Next thing you know, they say something or something happens or whatever the case may be. They done said something to somebody, said the wrong thing. Next day they fire. These jobs are not secure. These jobs are not secure. My job is not. I mean, yeah, I have a job as an anchor at iHeartRadio. That's not secure. I mean, I'm not even in a contract over there. But literally anything can happen. It's just how it is within our industry. I mean, that kind of goes for any industry, but it's really important, especially when you're in the media industry, especially if you're somewhere like CNN and you making millions of dollars, how do you go home to your wife or husband and say, I lost my $3 million job? You lost your what? It's crazy. So this is just how it is, man. So literally get out here, create your own content and stuff. And then also be prepared, of course, continue to if you're at your job right now, everything's going well, continue to do that job. I'm not saying leave it or nothing like that. I'm not saying don't go out and get that job, because some of these TV jobs and journalism, media industry jobs are absolutely amazing. I mean, I have one. I'm at iHeartRadio. So these are some amazing positions to be in, but I'm just saying what you want to do. You already want to go ahead and have backups on the side, while you're at these stations and stuff. Not saying you have to come out with it right now, but go ahead and be brewing some things like behind the scenes and stuff. Nobody has to know about it. You don't have to, put it out and start actually doing the content and stuff, but go ahead and start working on some stuff behind the scenes, because you never know. And like, layoffs is a big thing too. Layoffs are still happening. Like, I've know some friends who have been laid off. It's crazy. And then even with TV shows, maybe you're working on a TV show and stuff. Maybe you're a production assistant or a producer on a TV show. TV shows get canceled, yo. TV shows don't get renewed for extra seasons. So you gotta be ready, man. And so go ahead and be creating that stuff on the side, and just being prepared and getting ready, because you never know what might happen, right? So that's my advice on this episode. Create your own opportunities. Create your own content. Always be ready. And that's all we got for this episode of NJP. It's your boy Tyrik Wynn. Appreciate y'all so much for tuning in to this episode of Navigating Journalism Podcast. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram at TyrikWynn.iHeartRadio. Also on Twitter, Tyrik Wynn TV. Go like my Facebook page, Tyrik Wynn iHeartRadio. Also on Threads, TyrikWynn.iHeartRadio. You can add me on LinkedIn too. I'm on LinkedIn, Tyrik Wynn, man. Go check me out. All you got to do is go to LinkedIn, type in Tyrik Wynn. You can find me, connect with me, follow me on LinkedIn, all that good stuff, man. And also, got that clothing line now, man. That clothing line is coming out, man. It's I'm not sure by the time this episode airs if it's already going to be out, but if it is out, the link will definitely be down in the bio, down in the description, or it's going to be somewhere in the comments. So look for that if I have released the clothing line by the time this episode airs. But I am working on it. I just ordered me some samples. So samples are on their way. They're coming in. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a huge, huge thing, yo. And I'm going to have some journalism attire in there too. Some NJP merch is going to be in there as well. So if you're a big fan of NJP, you're a journalist and stuff, you definitely want to make sure you get that. Maybe you're watching, you're not into journalism. I got other stuff you can get on there too. Come on now. Go ahead and tap in with your boy, man. So, hey, listen, like I said, this has been an episode of NJP. Oh, also, quick thing, if you're a podcaster, got podcaster merch in there too. I got a shirt that has podcaster across the top. Then they got Tyrik Wynn collection at the bottom. Man, that's an amazing, awesome, real nice shirt. Definitely want to tap in with that one if you're a podcaster. Appreciate y'all so much for watching this episode of NJP. It's been your boy Tyrik Wynn. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Say that again. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell somebody about this episode. Share it with some people. Help me get the word out, man. Got to get this viewership up. Got to get this podcast monetized on other platforms as well. So I really greatly appreciate y'all sharing this, liking, comment, and subscribe. And downloads, man. Podcast downloads are really important. Really helps me out. So please, please, please download the podcast on all platforms. All that good stuff. Love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for watching. Peace.